Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit tired in this one. I woke up pretty late today. But anyways, this is my series where I tell 31 stories in 31 days, and this is day number 13, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So with that being said, this isn't going to be an individualized story. This is going to be a little bit about me and my story over the last couple of years regarding a certain topic. And I just want to point out that this is a little bit of a sensitive topic, so I'm just going to give like a trigger warning now. If you struggle with eating or working out or any of that, please don't watch this video. So with that being said, let's begin. So anyways, if you guys don't know, I actually used to be super duper underweight back in I don't even know, like maybe 7 years ago or something like that. I was very underweight and it was not good. I wouldn't eat like anything, and it used to be a big deal, it used to be like a struggle I had for a very long time. It was something that I had to work on, and my mom had to really get me to eat a lot of food, and it was very difficult. Now the issue is we used to I grew up eating Indian food, and I used to hate Indian food, and my dad used to be a lot more conservative with what I could eat before he really opened up to me when I was like maybe 12 or 13. So I actually used to be a vegetarian, and I didn't even eat eggs. Like, I had no source of protein because I hated Indian food. And if you guys don't know, paneer is like this Indian cheese that has a lot of protein in it, and that's like the only protein I could eat, and I wouldn't even eat it because I hated it. So anyways, I was over here like I don't know, maybe a 12-year-old kid, very underweight, very skinny, and my parents had to talk about it and allow me to eat like more meat because it was just not healthy at all. So eventually they opened up, and I started eating eggs, and that got a little bit better because eggs are a great source of protein, and it started to get a little bit better, and eventually they also allowed me to start eating chicken. And it wasn't really about like them like allowing me to eat chicken. This was more like them letting me make my own decision because I was growing up, I was becoming a teenager. So at this point I chose to start eating eggs, and that was kind of the only meat I ate for a very long time. Anyways, so I ate eggs, and I started, actually gaining some weight, and started feeling a little bit healthier. Oh my god, that was close. So that was good, and I did start gaining a good amount of weight, and unfortunately I started getting very comfortable gaining weight, and I kept gaining. Quarantine eventually happened, and everyone kind of stopped hanging out with each other and having like a lot of exercise, and all of my sports stopped. Like, I stopped doing karate because I used to do karate and all that, so it actually kind of switched. I did a little bit of a polar opposite switch, and I started eating like way too much. And I used to be a very anxious kid, I used to be a stressed kid. I talked about this in a recent video. I used to get very anxious all the time, and when I got anxious I used to eat like a lot. Then I started eating a lot to cope with my anxiety, which was definitely like not a healthy like coping mechanism whatsoever. So as I grew up, I started eating more and more, and especially when we got into like quarantine, I started eating like a lot. Around like mid quarantine, I became extremely overweight. It was really bad. And I wasn't like extremely, but I was like a pretty chubby kid. I did weigh a decent amount, and it was really unhealthy, and it was not good. It was not good. I needed to change something, but it was hard to with no motivation to do so, considering that everyone was at home and quarantine had just begun. So eventually I kept working on it, and I changed my mindset. I like worked hard, and I convinced myself to actually start taking care of my body and my mental health, and this was difficult. This is when I started getting into YouTube, and anyone that's struggled with eating knows that it's very hard to either lose or gain weight. It's hard to take care of yourself when you're so set in like eating habits. It can be very tricky, and it took a lot of trial and error, it took a lot of effort, but finally like I started to work out and start to take care of myself out like kind of halfway through quarantine, getting out of it, and I started to really take care of myself a lot more. And I'm gonna share a before picture of how I used to look during quarantine right now, and I'll share an after picture later on, a little bit later on, to show you guys like how I've changed. So anyways, I started really taking care of myself, and going out of quarantine I felt a little bit more confident. I think that the reason this story is really important to me is because it's a lesson in terms of like there is a lot of things that I was insecure about, but One of the biggest things that changed my mentality was simply like accepting how I was and being okay with that, but also wanting to change myself for myself, not other people. You know, I didn't like want to lose weight or become super fit or good looking or whatever because I was doing it for like a girl or something. I had to do it for myself, and that was like my biggest realization, that as long as I was doing things for other people in my life, I was never gonna succeed. So I kept working on myself, and I stopped making excuses, and you know, I started eating healthy, started eating better, started working out every single day, like really changed my mindset. And I actually like turned it around eventually in 12th grade, like, because you know 12th is like when we went back to school. 12th was definitely like my best year in high school. Like I felt much more confident, I had a lot more friends, and this also like has to do with, like, the story isn't just about like my diet and stuff, it's also on a larger scale about my mental health. I used to be a very anxious kid, and I'll get into that story another time because there's a whole another aspect to it. Like I used to struggle a lot as a kid, and that is a story I'll talk about at some point. But yeah, I did used to struggle a lot, but getting out of quarantine, I was doing much better, especially more recently. Like I think kind of around like out of 12th grade, like I started like really hitting the gym hard. I started understanding how to work out, and you know, my diet changed even more. And now you know, like obviously I talked about like my breakup and how after my breakup I went to the gym even more, and now I go pretty decent amount. I try to go 5 times a week. Recently I haven't been able to do that because I've been busy. Obviously we got finals and stuff, but I have been like, you know, going a lot, and I'm really starting to see a lot of like muscle progress. I've been doing progressive overload. I've been going more for aesthetics and hypertrophy, but it's been really good. You know, I've been working very hard, and I don't know, I just kind of wanted to like share this story a little bit, kind of give some perspective, maybe like hopefully motivate some people if they're feeling down or struggling about like anything that has to do with them or their body or anything, their mental health, whatever. I'm gonna show a picture of how I look now, and you guys can see my progress. I actually lost over 45 pounds around like a year ago, and then since then I've done body recomp, and I've maintained the same weight for like 7 or 8 months, except I have a way lower body fat percentage. So it's just been something that I've been working on, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's very important to me, and a lot of people have been noticing in the stream recently, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, that's kind of the story of how I changed, like physically and also kind of mentally. I might do another video kind of going over like how I changed and worked on my anxiety and stuff, because I know a lot of people wanted to know what happened with that. But yeah, that's kind of the story, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry if it was more of a sensitive topic. You know, I know that some things can be, you know, sensitive nowadays, and I do want to like be understanding, inclusive of that as well. But anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it to the end, I know we said comment growth on the breakup video, but comment growth on this one as well. I just want to see you made it to the end. I'll heart every single comment that says growth in the first 24 hours. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a great day, everyone. Peace out. Bye.